grab your direwolf and hop on a dragon. Today we're talking Game of Thrones.
Let's geek out! Hi, I'm PK.
And I'm Bozer.
And today we have a very special guest, Kai.
Hi.
Hey, welcome to 4 Geeks by Geeks.
Yes.
And today we're talking Game of Thrones, if you didn't catch that from the title. And we're going to talk about why we love Game of Thrones, our favorite moments and characters. We're going to play another rendition of Kiss, Marry, Kill, which we will explain once we get there. And then we're going to talk about our theories for the final season. I think I'm going to have the best theories.
I'm sure you do. You're going to find very quick that PK's the biggest fan at the table.
Biggest fan.
Biggest fan.
I've seen an episode. So, before we get into I want to just, disclaimer. I've only ever seen one episode, and only a part of an episode, because my grandpa and I were trying to watch it. He's like, hey, I heard about this awesome show. It's called Game of Thrones. Let's watch it.
You and your grandfather alone in your house?
Yes. No, 100% we were just alone. We put it on the 55-inch 4K TV. So we started, and immediately, just this woman gets out of a bathtub.
What's up, Danny?
And she's like, this is my brother. And I'm like, well, maybe we shouldn't watch this together. I was like, let's watch it separately and take notes. And then we never came back to it. But the same thing happened with Orange is the New Black.
Oh, no.
He was like, my friends at work were talking about this awesome show. Let's watch it together. I was like, let's do it.
Oh, no.
First 5 seconds, this lady was in prison. But anyway.
Well, anyway, so Kylie, welcome to 4 Geeks by Geeks. You're a resident expert. Now, he's seen an episode half, and then he just felt too uncomfortable the rest of the episode to even pay attention.
Oh my gosh.
I've seen a collection in the first season, but I've become fairly familiar with the general arc of the story. Okay. So, you are the expert. Tell us first of all, just why do you love Game of Thrones?
I love Game of Thrones so much. I actually started watching it in the second season. I shouldn't say that. I found it one day randomly and started watching the first season, and it was so good, and I got obsessed with it, and it was the middle of the second season, so then I watched all the second season, and then in between second and third, I read all the books.
You read all the books?
I've read all the books.
How many?
And then
Pause.
A lot.
They're like this thick, right?
Yeah, they're pretty big, but I get obsessive, and I read all of those. Now, I haven't read, George R.R. Martin has other books about the world of Game of Thrones, but aren't like A Song of Fire and Ice.
Right.
I have not read those, but then I've seen all the seasons. I went back and I've seen a few of the seasons multiple times, but I have been on a year break since season 7 got done, so I'm gonna start.
It's been a whole year?
Yeah, so I'm gonna start rewatching season 7. So season 8 comes out in April, and then we'll be back.
Honestly, I can't believe that you're on this show trying to talk about Game of Thrones and you haven't seen it in a year.
I know.
Please.
I know.
If you're not watching it daily, like Hayden, Power Rangers, then...
If you didn't watch the Power Rangers episode, link right here. I always do this to myself, but link right here.
It's not actually going to be there.
Yes, it will. I promise you. I promise you. As a non-Game of Thrones... Not a Game of Thrones fan. I just haven't seen it yet. I will watch it one day when I'm alone and not with my grandpa.
After this episode, you'll be a fan, and you'll go watch them all. I have faith.
I mean, I've wanted to. I just don't have any free access to the Game of Thrones. Because I'm not paying for that.
It's literally the only reason we still pay for HBO is so I can keep watching Game
of
Thrones.
What about Westworld?
Apparently we're never doing an episode on that.
Westworld is so good.
So you haven't watched it in a year.
Okay, yeah, but so I didn't actually answer your question why I love it. Sorry. I got excited. I love it so much because firstly, I'm a history nerd. I'm a history buff. And I love that George R.R. Martin pulls in so many elements of mythology and actual history, and he just pulls in all these layers to make it feel real, even though it's a fantasy show.
Okay.
And then I also love that his characters are so complex. You find these characters that you probably should be hating, but you're pulling for them because you love them, and they're so nobody's all good or all bad in the show. Well, there's a couple that are all bad. There's only 2 that are all bad, but they're very complex.
So Aquaman.
We've got a full list
AKA Khal
of all the
Drogo.
characters because
For people who watch.
Kiki and I are totally gonna forget
For
who
me,
people are.
so if
There's
I
like a billion
just to kind of
characters.
update people, if I say the dude from the Lord of the Rings, I mean,
Ned Stark.
okay, and then if I say the ghost from Destiny, the original ghost,
I don't know what that
that's
means.
Peter Dinklage.
Peter
Dinklage. Peter Dinklage.
My heart.
The
Fun
ghost
fact.
from what?
From
Did
what?
you know
The
that
heck?
in
Oh,
Destiny, which is their sign over there, you can't see
it's
it.
a poster. Yeah, the ghost.
Yeah, he was the original ghost. There might be a ghost on that poster.
I didn't see it.
No, there's not.
No.
But anyway, there's a ghost, and he was the original voice, and then that got passed off to Nolan North.
Yeah.
Fun fact for you.
I thought I recognized when his voice first started. I mean, as much as I love Peter Dinklage, I didn't love him as my ghost. I kept being
No, he
very
didn't have the
aware
fit
that, I'm
for
like,
that.
you're Peter Dinklage. Get out of my game.
Well, I didn't know him from much else. I think he did something on Nip Tuck too, where he played a guy that. Anyway, that's.
He also was an elf.
Oh,
He was-
yeah,
He was an elf.
Yes, he was the guy who's like, you're an
He was,
angry elf.
he was the children's author.
Yeah, it's like, are
the
you
mean
a
children's
South
author.
Pole elf?
Yes!
Yeah.
And
So,
he beats up Will
I'll just
Ferrell.
call him the South Pole elf.
Yeah.
And then, I think that's really the only actors I know on here. I probably know more. Oh, Ed Sheeran. Ed Sheeran was on there
Ed
once.
Sheeran.
Stop. Why did they do that? Yeah, he
And
was.
of
He
course,
was there.
I'm
That was
sure that
distracting.
you all know. I don't know how to say his name.
Jojen Reed.
Jojen Reed.
What did he do?
He's a green seer. He was in Love Actually.
I keep thinking he is in One Direction.
Stop.
Literally, I looked at him like, oh, that's the kid from One Direction.
So if it makes you guys feel better though, there are so many characters in the books. In every single book, there's like a thing at the end like this thick that has family trees and
Oh,
has
boy.
relations of everybody. And the crazy thing is in the books, he'll have multiple characters with the same names. So you have to like keep it all straight. And one thing, this is I'll say this on the record. This is the only series I can think of where I like the series better than the books because they streamline a lot of
You're a purist kind of
plots.
person normally.
Normally, I like books.
Like Harry
and-
Potter. You like Harry Potter
I
as
love the
books.
books. Yeah, but this is one where I actually love what they've done with the series.
But I did start reading the books.
Uh-huh.
I'm just a really slow reader and I lose interest, so I didn't get very far. But the books were good. But the
They're
thing
good.
I didn't like was like what you said,
Yeah.
like Eddard Stark. His name is Eddard Stark. The first time they refer to him, they call him Ned.
Ned.
And
Right.
then in the same sentence, the next person calls him Eddard. And I'm just supposed to follow that. Oh, that's
And they
his
all
nickname.
they all have like nicknames and they all have shortened names and then like I said there'll be like 3 characters with the same name.
and I'm like,
and
you're
they took
not
a
that
lot. They
clever,
took
J.R.R. or J.R.R.
George R.
George
Martin.
R.R.
Yeah.
J.R.R. George
Are you
R.R.
trying to mix him and Tolkien
Lord of the Rings,
together?
yeah.
Yeah. Right.
I don't believe that he actually has 2 R.R. nicknames. It's just too uncanny.
The other thing,
Really Martin.
Brooklyn Nine-Nine actually made fun of him, kind of. It was a slap
Tyrion
to him.
Lannister? Peter
No,
Dinklage?
they made
George
fun
R.R.?
of
George
George
R.R.
R.R. Martin. They had like a fantasy writer who came on, and he was like, "These books seem really, really complicated." And they are, but they were the Skyfire cycle. It was very clearly making fun of them because in one of the things they said, in this book, in this language, you don't speak the R's. He's like, this book is super complicated to read, isn't it? And they're like, incredibly. And I was like, that's what you're describing here. So I didn't know this, but they're definitely making fun of Game of Thrones.
Sorry, have you yet to answer the question? Have we let you
Yeah, I
talk
said
long
no,
enough?
you did. You did, and I keep saying things that you didn't ask me because I'm excited.
No, please do. So it's
No,
because of
but
the history that really geeks you out.
and I love how complex the characters are.
Yeah.
Like the
They're
characters, they're human, right? They're not all good, they're not all bad. They make good decisions in one book, and then the next book they make terrible decisions, and just you love them.
I remember,
love
and
their
that brings me
network.
Mm-hmm.
back to my question. Is Aquaman like always a bad guy, or is he like a good bad
No,
guy?
so Khal Drogo isn't necessarily a bad guy, really. He's he's like the head dude of his like
Tribe,
tribe.
right? Yeah.
And so he makes this deal with Daenerys' brother to like marry her, and that's just kind of like what the Khal does. Like he marries whoever he wants, and he takes them, and that's like what he does.
Right. So he was not sold her then. Like there was no
Well,
money
they
transaction.
like no, I think there was. They like made a deal for her.
Okay,
I
so
don't
I was
remember
right.
exactly what he got to marry her, but it was like one of those things where like the wife of the Khal, like the Khaleesi, like they didn't matter in the like that's just how it was, right? But then after they were married, she like made stuff. She like made him love her through means, and she ended up being like his like they like loved each other and they were good.
And then
yeah, she was pregnant and then he died. And it was bad.
With a dragon?
But she was pregnant with a baby.
Oh.
But then she made a deal with the witch, and it all went south. But then she got her dragons out of it. She got her babies and the dragons.
That's super depressing. I did not know
It's
that.
very sad.
So she was
But-
gonna have a baby of the man she loved, and she's
Yeah.
like, "Let's make a deal with the witch. Goodbye, babies. Hello, dragons."
Yeah.
That's a
But she
bad
loves
deal.
them like children.
But the dragons are her children. Like
They're
they're
her babies.
They're her babies. Like, and it's not like a.
And that's why she's. A
It's not like
dragon.
I like my dog is my baby. It's like they're her children. Like she like thinks they're her children.
Yeah. So
Remember,
then
she's
what
the dragon mother.
She's the mother of dragons.
is that? Because like, okay, talk us through that aspect. Like, why did the dragons not eat her? Like, why do they like her?
So she has Targaryen blood, and the Targaryens used to be dragon riders, like back in the day, and they like think all the dragons are extinct. And then for her wedding, she's gifted these 3 like eggs that are like,
They look like rocks, though, right?
yeah, they're basically like what's the word, like fossilized or whatever.
Yeah.
And she gets them, and she keeps like having these moments with these eggs, like she like feels the eggs or whatever, and then they end up, she takes them into the fire with her, and they end up hatching, and she gets 3 baby dragons and brings back the dragons
And she doesn't burn because she is Targaryen.
because
and
she's the mother of dragons.
true
now
dragon.
now the books and the series are different on that point. In the series she can't be burned at all. In the book she didn't burn when she had the babies, but I think later she can be burned maybe.
Did she lose her dragon status?
I don't know, but they gave that to her in the series, which is kind of makes her really cool because she can like handle fire.
And
and
then
such.
also, so you were telling us that Jon Snow
Yes.
is also.
Also a Targaryen.
So-
but we just found that out. Oh my gosh.
It's brand new.
If you haven't seen the seasons, you should not listen to this.
We should say that if you
So
haven't
many
seen season
spoilers.
7, we're probably going to spoil some things for you.
All
If
of
you
it.
haven't seen this series, we're gonna spoil it.
All of it.
I'm
There's
about to get
so many
spoiled.
things I've already said. I'm sorry. We should have already said that.
So sorry.
Spoiler alerts. We're just about that.
We'll let you know in like the comments. We'll put a little
Sorry.
banner or something earlier just in case.
I'll just do like a big flashing spoiler alert. Spoiler
Yeah.
alert. This episode.
Because we're going to talk all the way through season 7 so that we can talk about maybe some theories what's going to happen in season 8.
The little
So,
guy's gonna marry a dragon.
If you haven't gotten that far, feel free to
Don't
stick
watch.
around. But
Yeah.
I've just accepted my fate of having this whole series ruined for
I'm
me.
sorry.
No, but it's great because
That's what we're here
I'm so
for.
behind and
You'll
I'm still
still
never
love
paying
it.
for HBO, and I still love it even if I
And you'll
if I
still
start
love it
watching
because
now.
book readers have known what was going to happen for a really long time.
they still watch.
This last season was the first time they were off the books. And
So season 1 through 6 followed all of the
and he is still writing.
Song of Fire and Ice
He's
books.
still writing the book that goes over 7 and 8 and what ends up happening. And I hope he publishes
But they're
it
going to be
sometime.
different.
Was it? No,
Yeah, but
I
he
thought they
said that he always says they're going to end up at the same spot.
Yes, so they're
Okay.
all going to end together. I did know this. So there's certain things that I know because my sister is like a diehard fan as well.
Okay.
The book, the way they wrote it, like the script, there's been like 20 different endings, and they've recorded every single one of them for this final season because they don't want it to leak. And there's only one person that knows the real ending that's going to play.
Stop! I didn't know that.
Yes,
that's
apparently
so
they've recorded a bunch of different. They've gone old school. They've not put anything digitally, but they've recorded multiple endings so that nobody can know. Like because something got leaked for some other show, and they're like, "We're not leaking this. This is it. This is the
So
final."
who
That means
knows?
someday they'll publish all of them and I can watch them all.
George R. R. Martin.
He's the only guy that
I
knows
would
the true
imagine,
ending.
and maybe the director, but he'll pick it and tell them which one's at the end.
Oh, man.
That's what I read because I was curious. That was the one bit of intrigue I read.
I didn't know that.
And that's
That was
all you
great.
have to add to this episode.
That's literally this is
And you just made my life, so it's great.
That's cool.
so
That's
excited.
crazy.
It was crazy. The only reason I was interested in that was because I found out that that's what they did for How I Met Your Mother. They didn't want the only
And
people.
that's what they chose?
Well, no. Well, How I Met Your Mother. Here's a fun fact. For
Okay.
you. Sorry, I love How I Met Your Mother. This is my
Even
geek out
more
moment.
mad, that's fine.
This is the only thing I get to geek out about in this episode. In How I Met Your Mother, in the very beginning, season 1, they had the kids record multiple endings. One where he ends up with Stella. One where he ends up with Ashley Williams' character.
I've forgotten all their names.
Victoria. One where he ends up with Victoria, and then one where he ends up with the mom and everything goes happy, and then one where he ends up with Robin. And of course, we all know how it ends. Well, we don't all know, but I know. Because that's my favorite show. If we could geek out about that show, I'm excited about it. I could totally do that. I could do 10 days of that.
Well, we're not talking about How I Met Your Mother.
Sorry, but anyway, so they had the kids re-record multiple endings, and even they didn't know how the series was going to
Yeah.
end. But because he knew they were going to age and they weren't going to be reusable, he recorded them like in the beginning of the series.
Oh, yeah. Because it took like 10 years to
Yep.
get through that
So
whole thing.
the kids didn't know for sure, but they did know they knew all the possible endings, and they never let anybody know.
I'm so happy right now because that means I'm gonna get to watch all those endings because they'll release them someday.
yeah,
Might be like
hopefully.
the 10-year anniversary or something, but
I
they'll
don't know,
release
but
them.
How
It's
Many
something to
Mother-
look forward to for the rest of my life.
How I Met Your Mother never released those, so I'm curious if they will.
I bet there's somewhere.
I think a Game of Thrones fans are probably a lot more rabid than
That's true.
like they probably will attack and try to get them.
The only thing we ever cared about was where the pineapple came from, and we get that answered.
There you go. Well, so Kylie, will you just give us like a recap on some of like the key players right now in season
try.
7?
Okay.
Who do we need to know?
You need to know Jon Snow.
Okay.
Who dies and comes back?
Yeah, so Jon Snow. Do you want me to give you like a full?
Just brief.
So you think for a
He's
lot,
only, like, about an hour.
you think for you would need like 20 episodes to recap Game of Thrones. So like Jon Snow, you think is Ned's bastard for a really long time, but it doesn't really make sense because Ned's like an upstanding gentleman, and you wouldn't think that he would have this bastard child he came back from fighting with. You find out in season 7 that he's actually the son of Ned's sister, and the Targaryen. So they had Jon Snow and they were worried he was going to be murdered, and so Ned took the baby and has pretended it's been his the entire time. But so like Jon Snow was very moody and he was a bastard, so he decided to take the black and go to the wall up here.
There's a map.
There's a map here. I brought it. So the wall, and he decided to take the black, and then a whole bunch of stuff happened, and Jon was like stabbed and he died, and he was with the Wildlings, and he came back, and now he
I'm going to take a video of it so we can see it.
There we go.
Okay, so this is...
That's the wall. That's the
wall.
far north. That's the wall.
Okay, so this is the wall.
Yeah.
You'll see it. I'll try to edit
this
it.
is Winterfell where Jon grew up.
Okay.
And that's like Ned and the Starks. That's where they live.
Okay, and then
you keep going south, and like this is King's Landing. This is where the Iron Throne is. The Iron Throne. That's where they all
put the Iron Throne.
There it is. And they all are fighting for the Iron Throne. You keep going south. There's like Highgarden. That's another important family. There's Dorne. You keep going. This is across the Narrow Sea, and there's all the good stuff over there. This is where Daenerys has been running around for most of the seasons.
I will say in our map, the Narrow Sea is very narrow.
Yeah, because we just
don't
have room.
It's like perfect.
So there you go.
And then wait, what's this giant? There's a bunch of pyramids over here. Now is this sand? Like is this a place that Anakin Skywalker would not want to hang out?
Yeah, the Red Waste. Yeah, there's a bunch of cities over here that are kind of like secondary. Most of the story takes place over here.
Okay, so on the island
this
side.
This is what you really need to know about.
Oh god, I'm breaking things.
It's okay, you're good.
But yeah, so. Whoop.
So anyway, so Jon Snow is now like King of the North, and he's just partnered up with Daenerys, and they're gonna fight the White Walkers, and
the White Walkers are
the White Walkers. So the White Walkers exist north of the Wall, and they're bad. They're
are they the Winter?
They're under the control of the
Night King.
The Night King. And
he's like the big bad of the series.
He is the big bad of the series, but you didn't really at first you just thought it was about people fighting each other, and then you realize that the whole thing is about humanity trying to survive the Night King and the White Walkers. So there's all sorts of theories about the Night King because he's become very important, and humanity is about to have this giant battle.
Is this why the wall is here?
Yeah, but the wall just fell in season 7.
I like the very, very end.
It was amazing.
In that last episode,
it was such a good episode.
One of Dany's zombie dragons.
Yes, and he just killed one of the dragons, and it became a zombie dragon, and it was so sad.
So now we only have 2 dragons and a zombie dragon, right?
Yes, and it was so sad.
So the Night King has a dragon. That's a big deal.
The Night King has a dragon. That is not a good thing at all.
No.
Not not a good thing.
It could be, depending on who you're rooting for.
If you want all of humanity to die, yes, then it is a good thing.
Because with the White Walkers, they bring eternal winter.
Yeah, so they're just evil warg, or not warg. That's not the word I meant. They're just evil ice zombies basically that are just trying to kill everyone, and they'll turn you into an evil ice zombie, and they're no good.
Okay, so with there being 10,000 characters with 3 names amongst all 10,000,
all of them.
We've got let's play a game.
Yeah? Yay, a game!
So, you've heard of Kiss, Marry, Kill. Well, this time we're going with Betroth, Behead, and Bekissy Face?
Because we needed another word with a B. Here's where all the English majors are going to be like, why didn't you use fill in the blank?
Yeah, just lists down below. There's going to be a Webster's dictionary of all the B words you could have chose.
I liked Bekissy Face.
Bekissy Face.
So yeah, I'm gonna give you guys 3
Okay.
characters that I've grouped together. Don't look at them yet.
Just for the record, we haven't even talked about my 2 favorite characters, so I'm just throwing that out there. So go
Hopefully
ahead.
they're on this list.
Hopefully they're on the list.
Or if not, we'll get to them after the game. Because we've still got plenty of episode. So I'm going to give you a couple characters. You have to tell us which one you'd rather be betrothed to and marry.
Okay.
Which one you'd rather behead, look
Okay.
in the eye so that you know that they deserve it.
Oh no. Okay.
And which one you'd rather be kissy face with.
Okay.
So these first 3 are kind of some of the leading men of the show.
Okay.
Jaime Lannister.
That's the
Okay.
guy's oldest sister, right?
No.
That's Cersei, who's like
The queen,
the queen.
of all the
It's
kingdoms
her
currently.
twin brother, and they have a very
Intimate relationship.
not okay relationship.
Okay, so
they
this
had
is-
kids together.
This is the incest brother.
They're twins. Yes.
Okay.
They're
Twins
twins.
even.
He's gonna.
They're Lannisters.
It's a twin thing.
Nope. Nope. But that'd be a really good shirt.
It's a twin thing.
If you had both of them
Oh,
on there and
no.
said
Poor
it's a twin
twins.
thing.
Nobody should
So
wear that.
Jaime
ever.
Lannister.
Okay.
Jon Snow,
Oh. Okay.
and Khal Drogo.
Aquaman?
Aquaman.
Okay.
I have to choose. Okay.
So which one would you rather be married to,
Okay,
behead, or
I got
be
this.
kissy face?
Okay.
I'm already ready for this.
Okay.
I'm
Okay.
gonna kill incest boy. I'm going to marry Khal Drogo, and I'm going to kissy face Jon Snow. That was so easy for me.
Wrong.
No. Why would I not want to marry
But
this man
Jaime's
who's
like
No.
made better for himself, hasn't he? Like
Yes.
he wants to honor something.
Okay. You gotta marry Jon Snow because Jon Snow is just like
dies.
the
That
best.
sounds- well,
but he
this
came
will die.
back, dude.
Yeah.
He came back,
And his hair's
he's
gotten
gonna
all
be-
long and luxurious.
He's
That's
beautiful.
true. His-
And he's very responsible, and he's very moody, and he's just beautiful.
Yeah, but Khal
I love
Drogo will
Jon
die
Snow.
for you, as proven by the
Khal
series.
Drogo, I would actually behead because he's just kind of there and then gone.
Can he control
He's
the sea?
incidental. Jaime Lannister has grown on me. He's one of those very complex characters where you should hate him because he does really terrible things, like
With his sister?
like have babies with his twin sister,
Uh-huh.
and he does other bad things
Just
in the
twin
series.
things.
But he also has really redeeming features.
What'd you say?
That's the episode name. Just twin things.
Oh my god.
Game of Thrones. Just twin things.
Oh no.
So then you would. Who'd you say you'd marry? You'd
I'd kiss
Who?
your face, Jamie.
kissy face Jaime.
I'd marry Jon Snow.
And then kill
I'd,
Khal Drogo.
I'd go ahead and kill Khal Drogo.
Okay.
Yeah.
Wait, can I guess yours? And you tell me if I'm right.
Okay. Yeah. Offer
I
some
think
suggestions.
I think you're gonna marry Khal Drogo. No, kissy face Khal Drogo, marry Jon Snow, kill Jaime Lannister. That's what you're gonna do.
Khal Drogo is beautiful though.
Khal Drogo.
very
I mean, I've
good
already
looking.
mentioned
Handsome.
my man crush on
Right.
what's his face? What's his name?
Jon
Help me
Snow.
out. No, Khal Drogo.
Oh.
Aquaman.
Yeah.
What's his name?
I don't know his name in real life.
I do. Jason Momoa.
Momoa. I was like Mimosa.
Jason
No.
Momoa.
Jason Mimosas.
Hang on. I don't know if I'll be able to recap this, but Jason Momoa has been brought up as a man crush on episode 1, episode 4.
He is very
and-
beautiful. I
and
don't
episode
follow you.
3.
Don't
It was
follow
on
you.
our very first episode. It was on the Spider-Man episode, weirdly enough, and it was on the Super Smash Brothers
How did he come
episode.
up with Spider-Man?
Because the very first episode,
Yeah, because we're talking about superheroes.
right? We were talking about Aquaman. I had just seen it.
Yeah, he had just seen
Yeah.
Aquaman, and then Super Smash Bros. Got brought up again for some reason.
Okay, now it's just weird.
Anyway,
So now I
He's
feel like
episode
very
4.
beautiful.
he
It's
is a
okay.
good-looking guy. And he
But
seems
as far as
cool.
characters
but
go-
Khal Drogo, yeah. I feel like he's too physical. Like I feel if someone tried to get kissy face with him, he would just like
Yeah.
it'd get aggressive.
Yeah.
So I'm gonna behead him as well.
Good choice.
I'll follow yours because
Yeah.
I don't trust Jaime Lannister long enough to like marry him.
Right.
but you say if you're gonna kissy face somebody, might as well.
Jamie's pretty good looking
I mean,
too.
yeah, okay.
He's got the gold hair.
Good enough that
He's
he
got
got
the-
his sister.
Yeah. She liked him.
And then I'll marry Jon
I can
Snow,
tell.
and I'll be
Jon Snow.
his fellow king of all the kingdoms.
Yes.
There you go.
Do we have?
You'll be
Is
his-
Peter Dinklage on this list?
I hope so because
too.
he's my number one.
I would marry him.
Yes.
He is my number one.
Yes.
He's
Peter
my number
Dinklage
one.
can get the betrothed.
Indeed.
Okay. Next 3.
Okay.
Now it's opposite
The
sides.
ladies.
Some of the leading ladies.
Okay.
So, Daenerys Targaryen.
That's Danny Phantom, right?
That's Dany Phantom. Cersei
That's
Okay.
the sister.
Lannister. That's the queen.
That's the
current
queen.
Wait,
And-
now, is that the one that had babies with her brother?
Yes.
Okay.
I'm gonna
I have
butcher
to, like-
her name.
Marjorie.
Marjorie Tyrell.
Marjorie
These-
Tyrell.
These are all 3 that
Yes.
have gunned for the throne
So
at one
Marjorie Tyrell, in case you don't know, she first was gonna marry, or maybe did marry, I don't remember.
Joffrey?
Baratheon. Nope. Before him, she was with.
Oh.
So the king at the beginning, the Baratheon, his little
Yeah.
brother Renly, he was gunning for once Robert died, he was gunning. The little brother was gunning, and he was very popular, and he wanted to. So she was first with him, and he actually was in a relationship with her brother, and then he was done. So then she was betrothed to Joffrey, and then Joffrey was killed, and then she ended up married to Sweet Tommen, and they loved each other, and she was manipulating him, and she's very resourceful.
Maybe
And then she died in a fiery sept. I'm sorry.
Maybe this is because I don't know the series.
Yes.
But is Marjorie Tyrell? Is that her
That's
right
her.
there? Perfect. Okay,
that
and
is
I know
her.
what I'm going to do. I'm going to
Yes.
marry Dany. I'm going to kiss Seaface, Marjorie, and I'm going to kill the sister because I just want to.
Cersei?
Okay. I need you to put the list back. We put the list back.
yeah.
Yeah,
Do you mind?
because
Sorry.
No.
my thing with this
I keep forgetting who we're
is
choosing.
Danny,
Okay, go
Danny
ahead.
Phantom here.
You can put the pictures back. Sorry.
Danny Phantom.
Danny Phantom.
Well, you said call her Danny, and now I can't not call her Danny Phantom.
Okay.
She's the Queen of Dragons.
She is.
She seems very strong, from what I've gathered. She
Yeah.
was not always strong. It looked like because when I first met her, she seemed very weak and very
She
submissive
was
to
under
her
the
brother.
control of her brother, right?
Yes.
Yes, but it looks like she grows, and I like
found her
that.
voice
And I like that she has
in
a
her
will.
dragons.
She's
and,
really into burning people now.
Yeah.
and since I said I would marry Khal Drogo, it only makes sense to marry her beloved.
You could be like their sister wife.
Yeah.
Sister husband.
You know, just keep following in that weird ancestral thing on the other side of it. Now, Marjorie,
Yes.
I recognize her as an actress, not from the show,
Mm-hmm.
but she was really funny and cool on other shows. So I assume her character is also really cool. So I'd kiss her.
Yeah.
I don't.
Good choice.
I'm assuming she's dead. I assume everybody's dead in this series at this point in my life.
They're all gonna die
She
when
is
the
dead.
White Walkers come.
And
She's
win.
dead.
And so I'll kiss the corpse. That's fine. That's not weird. And I'm gonna kill.
Not in this show, it's not.
I'm gonna, yeah, that's like the most normal thing that's happened at this point. And then I would definitely murder the incest.
And you know, I'm gonna follow your exact same logic because
Mm.
Cersei's just bad news. She's kind of losing it, and I don't want to be controlled by Marjorie if I married her because she seems manipulative. So I'm just gonna give her a little smooch and then bye. Yeah.
It's like,
And then I'm gonna be the fellow king of the
king of
father
dragons.
of dragons, unless you know I make Dany mad and then she burns me.
So I gotta say,
We're
this
probably
is, gonna,
wrong.
this is gonna be an unpopular opinion. No, this is gonna be an unpopular opinion.
Oh, good.
Um,
okay. So we were probably on the right then. For people that never seen-
Daenerys is not my favorite character in Game of Thrones. Particularly, I love the her dragons are amazing.
Her
and
babies
she
are great.
Her babies are. I would take a dragon any day of the week, obviously. But she is not my favorite character, and I was trying to decide earlier today because it's been a long time since I've read the books. I was trying to decide if I didn't like her character as much when I was reading the books, or if it's just the way they play her on the series. I don't love her super long monologues, and I don't love the way the actress portrays her. So I would smooch Daenerys and try to steal one of her dragons. I would actually
don't
marry
think so.
Marjorie because she is willing to like do whatever to protect the realm, and she has her grandma that I love, Olenna. And Cersei, I like Cersei, but I would behead her.
I
She
like
does
that we
bad
all
things.
agreed on one thing on that.
Yeah.
And that was that we gotta kill the incest.
Ding
I do
dong,
have some
Cersei's
sympathy.
dead.
I have some sympathy for Cersei's character, though.
All right. Up next, Arya Stark. So this
These are all the Stark children.
Okay. Now,
Arya
Yes!
Stark, Sansa Stark, and Bran Stark. Sorry, Robbie, you're not on the list.
I hate Rob.
Okay.
Another unpopular opinion.
Now, what are the Starks and what do they do? Because I only know one Stark and his name is Tony.
Let me see how I do.
Okay.
And then please correct everything.
Yeah,
I
okay,
do.
carry on. I'm
So,
listening.
Arya's the youngest. She's got hands of a blacksmith. No, she's not the youngest. Bran's the
youngest
youngest girl. She's not girly like her daughter,
Rickon's the
her
youngest.
sister Sansa.
Yes.
And so they both were like
Is this the thief?
Arya's my favorite character in the whole show.
Was this the thief one?
No,
Who's the
actually,
thief?
I lied. She's not
I
my
thought
favorite.
she said there was
She's
like
my
an
second favorite.
assassin thief.
She's the assassin.
There we
she
go.
later becomes gets trained with some guy after she pretends to be a boy
She
for a while.
also, she's a real good swordsman because she got
I
sword
saw her
training
sword
before
fight,
her
which
dad
is
was
super
killed.
sick.
And now she's got like the needle.
She had needle.
Oh.
John gave her needle before he left for the wall.
Okay.
And then died.
But now Sansa was betrothed to Joffrey. But he said, deuces, because there's somebody that actually wants your spot.
And he beheaded her father, so that puts a little kink in their
A little bit.
relationship.
You would think,
And she
like being
actually-
siblings or anything like that, but
She actually was married to Tyrion, who is my #1 all-time favorite character in the entire series, who we have not talked about. Arya's
Sansa
my
married
second.
Tyrion?
She was forced to marry Tyrion. They were forced to marry each other, kind of. And then she was married to Roose Bolton, which is a very painful plot point
Okay.
for people who watch the series. And now she's ruling the North right now.
Okay, so because Jon has
Because
left,
Jon left,
to go
she's
fight
ruling
the
in
Walkers.
his place.
Got it. And Bran is the youngest.
Bran's the second youngest.
Who's the youngest?
Rickon. Rickon's
Oh,
just
I
a
forget
trash
about
character
him.
that gets shot. He's fine. Or with a bow and arrow or a crossbow.
So Bran, he's the one that caught the incest brother and sister.
Yes.
Gets pushed out of a tower. The boy who never falls fell.
Yes.
The boy who never
And-
falls fell.
'Cause
I
he
want
used
to
to
marry
climb
that guy because that's
The
irony.
castle.
And he's the three-eyed raven.
And so, yeah, finally he eats some like magic tree sap. And
What?
now he
No,
can.
it doesn't.
I'm gonna.
My
pause you
recaps
there.
were in factual. Or do you have to pee?
I do.
And okay, we're
Okay,
gonna go back.
so-
So then now I thought
So,
he ate some magic tree sap, and now he can see the
he went in the
future.
tree. So
past and
he's a
present.
warp, so he can like go into his direwolf and see through his direwolf's eyes and
Cool.
like do cool stuff through his direwolf,
Yeah.
and he can actually warg into other people too. Like
Okay.
he's when Hodor passes away. He
Hodor?
wargs
Who's
into
Hodor?
Hodor's the sweet, simple-minded boy that carries Bran around and ultimately sacrifices himself for Bran, and it's the saddest thing on Game of Thrones. Go back.
Oh, did I pass him? Sorry, we're looking up all these people as we
Hodor.
go. Oh,
The only word he can say is his name, Hodor.
boy, that's a man with a full beard.
He's a sweet boy.
He's not a boy.
And
Okay.
he, so Bran can do that, and Bran is also like a green seer, so he can like see, he knows, like, because he found the three-eyed raven, he can like see all the past and present and future. He's amazing.
And he can also see through his eyes of the Raven.
yes,
Right?
Three-eyed raven.
Because I saw in one of the, I just binge watched like recap seasons so that I could at least have some sort of intellectual conversation tonight.
Bran is pretty cool in the books.
Because I mean he has some redemption because he just like sits in a bed at the beginning. Of
Yeah,
the
but then
storyline.
he has a whole big plot where he's like taken to see the three-eyed raven by the brother and sister that I can't think of their last name right now.
Okay.
Jojen and Mira. I can't think of their last name.
Oh,
But,
One Direction.
yeah, who's actually from the Christmas movie. Yeah, so Bran's pretty cool.
Okay.
He's I think going to be very important when we get to theories about next season. I think I have a theory. I think
yeah.
he's going to be pretty important.
I mean, he already was pretty pivotal in this last push towards the White Walkers, wasn't it? Like, right
Yes,
before
and he's the one who let everybody know about Jon's true like parentage. He's the one who like is putting it together and knows because he knows it's real because he could see.
Right. Okay,
Yeah.
so out of the Stark children,
Yay.
who are you gonna marry? Who are you gonna betroth to? Who are you gonna behead? And who are you gonna be kissy face?
Can I go first since I didn't get any
Please do.
backstory at all?
Please do.
I'm going off name alone.
Alphabetical order, go.
I'm gonna marry. I'm gonna betroth Arya because she sounds BA. She's also, while only 14 in the show, 18 as an actress. Bran Stark. I'm going to kiss, and Sansa will be
You're
beheaded.
just gonna cut her head off.
To be fair, I literally did what she said on accident. I went alphabetical.
Alphabetical A, B,
But you know
S.
what? I choose the same.
Oh, would you?
Same.
Why? An actual educated reason.
Arya is
an
my
educated
second.
reason.
Arya is my second favorite character in the entire series.
Yeah.
I love her so very much. She is just BA, like you said. She's amazing.
She's what she is. Man.
She's a little bit murdery, but
That's what's good about
I love
her.
her will to live. She survives. She's a survivor, man.
She's a survivor.
she
She don't
is.
go down there.
And
Okay.
then so she also
She's your betrothed.
is a faceless. She can change her face, which is amazing.
What?
She can like take your face off and put it on hers.
How
and
did she
go-
get that power?
She went and trained with the faceless men at Bravos.
And
Wait, so she can she rips your face off and puts on her own? Or?
There's a bunch of faces. Like if she kills you, she can cut your face off and wear it, and people think she'll morph into you, and then she'll go
But it's
do
not
her
like
thing and
gross
can peel
when
it back
you-
off.
is it gross or is it just like
Like
I thought I saw the video where it's just like whew,
well, when
She,
she's
like, fades in
when
and
she's
fades
training
out.
at
a
the
magician's clock.
when she's training at the place, there's just a whole wall of faces there, like of people who have died, and they just peel their little faces off, and then you can wear them and go murdery people.
So they're kind of like
and then-
masks. Well, it's very Majora's Mask, which I like that a lot.
You gotta watch this series,
Yeah,
man.
you
It
gotta
is
watch it.
amazing. Bran would be my kissy face just because he's pretty cool. I'd give him a little smooch. And Sansa, bless her heart, she's so annoying in the early seasons, but she's a survivor too. I like her.
Yeah.
She's ruling the North with Jon now.
Not a
It's good
survivor in this
stuff.
storyline because we
But
killed
in
her.
this storyline, she's done. Dunsies.
Do you know what? I think I might do the exact same thing.
Yeah.
Only because Arya's too cool to
Not
just
just
get rid of. And
Arya. She's my
and
fave.
so is Bran, and so I don't want to get rid of either of them because they seem
Yeah.
pretty pivotal to
Yes.
the future of Westeros. So, bye Sansa, you're getting beheaded like your dad. And I'm gonna.
First off, too soon.
I'm gonna. That was like 7 seasons ago. It's fine. I'm gonna marry Arya.
So you're doing exactly what we're doing, right?
I'm gonna do what you guys are doing, but not because I think that
Because he likes alphabetical order.
Exactly.
I don't think she would kiss me, first of all, and
Sansa?
no, Arya.
Arya?
I feel like if she didn't want to, right? And so we'd be married, but
she'd stab you and then put your face on.
there you. We'd be married, but it'd be like a very independent marriage. Like you just do what you want.
Yeah.
I'll do it. Maybe we'll meet up at the castle eventually.
Yeah.
But
hey,
she
you
seems
do you,
too
I do me.
independent
Someday we
woman.
might say hi to each other. I will pass in the street and like, oh, that's my wife.
Yeah. Oh, hey.
But the thing is, you might actually do it. Like, I think that's my wife. That guy's definitely dead. That's my wife.
That's
Yeah.
my wife.
Cool. That's my
That guy
wife.
died like
I know
5
that's
years
the
ago.
one. And then Bran, maybe I give him a little smooch. Maybe he does me a favor with his 3-eyed
Tells you
raven
future
in the
and
future.
stuff.
So wait, hang on, real quick, because I missed all of this. Other than being really good for your colon, what else does Bran do for you?
He can see the past,
Bran-
present, future.
Bran is the 3-eyed
Oh wait, he's
raven.
the three-eyed raven. Okay,
Yes.
yeah.
He's like what do you call him? A warg?
A warg. He
He's
can,
the
like,
guy who
go
fell
to
out
another
of the
future-
tower.
Yes.
The boy who never falls.
Yes.
Yeah.
Falls.
Now he's
It's
the
kinda
boy that
like
never
Harry
walks.
Potter, the boy who lives come to die, and the boy who never falls come to fall.
Okay.
That sounded like you knew.
All right. So that wasn't too difficult.
Thank you.
All right. So now this is the top category. These are the 3 hated characters, or at least 3 of the hated characters. I need you to tell me who you're gonna betroth, behead, or be kissy face.
Ooh. I don't need this. Oh wait, you
I
gotta
have to
give
read them.
Yes, you read them
for
first.
them.
I got really
Wow,
excited.
selfish.
You like this list.
Podcasters can't even pretend to see a list. By the way, podcasters, Kylie's had a dragon on her shoulder this entire time that no one's ever mentioned. We just pet it.
I keep petting it.
So, Viserys, am I saying his name
Yes.
right? Okay. Viserys Targaryen, Joffrey Baratheon, or the Night King.
Woo!
Okay. Again, I know very little about everything, but if I can piece together from what we've talked about, I would betroth the Night King, because if we're going in Eternal Darkness,
Yes.
I want to be there. I would murk Joffrey.
So, behead Joffrey?
I would behead Joffrey, and I would kiss Viserys.
Viserys?
Victor Cromwell.
The Targaryen brother.
The one that sold his
Actually,
sister.
you're crushing this, because same.
Do you know what? Same.
You are crushing this,
Do you know who doesn't need to watch the show to be knowledgeable? This guy.
Okay, so I'm with you. The Night King, I want to be his Night Queen. Like, if we're all going down,
Right.
I'm going to be royalty.
And worst case scenario, he dies, and you're like, look, I just put my cards down where
Yeah.
they were.
I guess I'm ruling the world. Plus, the other 2, like,
He's also...
would be terrible to be stuck with for the rest
Yes.
of your life.
And
Well,
the Night
okay.
King has nice eyes. Your kids would be okay.
He
Ooh,
might
piercing blue eyes.
He could sell you at any given moment.
Also,
Viserys.
Viserys is pretty...
Viserys.
He was pretty easy to take down, so you could give him a smooch, and if he wouldn't leave, just melt the gold over his head like they did in
go.
the series, he'd be done. Joffrey is
Plus,
just
he looks like
insufferable.
his sister, so
Yeah. True.
I'll take it.
Joffrey is just
The
the
worst.
He is the worst.
I
So
haven't
just,
even seen that much of him.
It would
how
be
far I
so
got. I
great
hate
to
his
be.
guts.
It'd be so great to behead him. Just.
I mean, kudos to the actor that makes everybody hate you.
Yeah, he's awful.
Awful.
So you didn't you didn't bring up my boy.
Okay, I'm gonna do one more.
Yeah,
Bring up
because
who
wait, can I
you
pick the
want.
characters? Can I pick the
Yeah.
characters?
Yeah.
Am I
Okay.
gonna freak out? Are you picking up my
close
boy
your eyes,
too?
close your eyes.
Okay.
Okay. I want this one.
Okay.
I want. Keep scrolling.
Ooh, this one.
Yeah, yeah. I like that one.
Okay.
And then, did we do this one?
This one?
Yeah.
No.
He seems roguishly handsome. Let's
Okay.
go with him.
Okay, can I uncover my eyes?
So yeah.
Okay.
So who we chose is Tyrion Lannister, the little finger,
Ugh.
and Dario Naharis.
Okay.
Because he
Again.
looked roguishly
Okay.
handsome.
Okay, am I going first this time?
No, I got
Okay,
this.
you got this.
He
Okay.
said that, I
Okay.
got this.
No.
I'm gonna marry Peter because how could I not? The man is just charismatic. Also,
Oh wait, Peter Dinklage.
yeah.
Not Peter Baelish.
Oh no,
The
no.
Littlefinger.
Sorry.
Peter
Okay.
Baelish
Sorry.
is the worst.
Peter Dinklage. I apologize. I just don't know his name.
Tyrion Lannister.
I'm gonna
Tyrion.
I'm gonna marry Tyrion, and then I'm gonna kill the little finger,
Yes.
and then I'm gonna kiss the roguishly handsome dude.
Who is the roguishly handsome dude?
He is Daenerys' lover.
Oh.
Love her. He's her friend, her special friend.
She is coming after you if you marry him.
I'm not
She got
marrying
rid
him.
of. She got rid of him.
I was
She's
just
good.
going to give him a smooch.
She
He was
sent
also
him away
going
to
to be
fight.
my special friend. That's how he was to me. Dude, I
So you're
nailed it.
taking all the husbands and wives. I like that. You're just joining up.
Okay, so what are you?
Oh my gosh, Tyrion Lannister out of the entire Game of Thrones world is my favorite character. He is incredibly smart. He is witty. He is kind when he doesn't need to be, and he's empathetic. I love Tyrion with the fire of 1,000 suns. I would marry him.
Over everything else that we've said in this entire like list of people.
Yes.
Okay.
He is my favorite character in the realm. God dang it, he's my favorite.
Okay.
I love him so very much. I would marry him. Peter Baelish is the worst. Littlefinger deserved everything he got, and I would behead him immediately.
Okay.
And then Dario Naharis is, I mean, he's attractive, so I'd give him a little smooch.
I like to say.
And then he can move on. He can go
last
protect
three-
me. He's a sellsword.
Last three I perfected.
You did.
100%.
You did
As
great.
a never watcher,
He hit the nail on the head.
I'm gonna do one switch.
Okay.
I would agree with Littlefinger's gone.
hang
He's
on,
too
hang on.
skeezy.
so you're gonna kiss? Yeah.
I'm gonna kiss Tyrion Lannister.
I am outraged right now.
Also-
You have no idea what you're saying. Don't even finish the sentence. No.
He
No!
just seems too mercurial
No.
for me.
You know what? You would go after the cute guy. Tyrion would give you a lifetime of happiness and conversation and joy.
Also,
I'm sure he would.
I'm gonna be honest.
You're making poor choices.
You've seen the first episode. The lady that he slept with did not seem displeased. So
Okay.
It's notorious. He's fine.
Okay. Well, that's
you.
great.
Probably.
And
you.
so
He's
you
got
will
this.
you'll be
it's
happily
fine.
married as sister, husband, and wife to
Dude,
Tyrion.
Tyrion all day long. You're
But I'm
making the
taking-
worst choice.
I'm taking Dario.
you might as well have just taken
and he's
Littlefinger.
so boring. He just wants to be close to power, and he's a sellsword, and he has
Dario?
gold teeth and blue hair.
But
in
then
the
we could go
series.
like
Or blue
fight
beard.
things together. That'd be cool.
You're making bad choices. That's fine. I'll take Tyrion. You
Look,
can
man.
have Dario.
Okay.
And
You can make your
I'm-
weird, bad high school choices.
Yeah,
No one's
exactly.
judging you.
I'm choosing a lifetime
you
of
know
happiness.
nothing.
You know nothing.
and
You
yet-
know
you know
nothing.
nothing.
You know nothing.
Don't judge my option.
And yet somehow by not knowing anything, I picked right.
My dragon's laughing.
Right in the eyes of Kylie and the
At you.
dragon.
He didn't choose
So-
Tyrion. My
In the
dragon's
game-
judging you.
In the game of betroth, behead, and be kissy face, you win or you die.
You need to behead him immediately
Yes.
for that last choice.
No.
I'm very disappointed in you.
Look me in the eye.
Your watch has ended.
Oh,
Oof.
I got beheaded.
Because he's bad. You're
I hope
terrible
you guys.
picking.
We'd love to know what you thought at home. So if you had any other options, or if you
Want to
made
comment
some
on the fact that he
choices.
passed up Tyrion Lannister?
If this outrages you, subscribe.
If you're as
And
angry
comment
as I
below.
am, please watch this forevermore.
So
Wait, hang on. So just
Yeah.
out of curiosity, did you choose to not do it just to be different? Like, did you just not want to be a part of the trio?
No,
That's
I-
fine. I'm not
You're
upset
gonna
about
watch
it.
the whole series and you're gonna regret these
You know, I
moves.
might- I
You're
might-
gonna
I
watch
might
this
change
back
my-
and be like,
I'm gonna say
silly.
this. You're not allowed to change your answer. You have to live with your regret. You made your
For the
own
rest
choices.
of your life. You're gonna look. You can roll over every morning and look at Dario and think about what you did.
He's like, I should have chosen Tyrion. Tyrion.
you don't even know his
Tyrone.
name.
Tyrone.
You don't you
Tyrion.
come at me with your judgment. You don't even know his name.
Oh, he's my favorite.
So other than Tyrion, who are your other favorite characters?
So my other main favorite. So of the main group of people, my favorites are Tyrion and Arya, but Tyrion is my all-time favorite.
Okay.
There's a lot of like lesser characters that I love.
Like
Like
Jon
Samwell
Snow.
Ganges.
I love Jon Snow too. Samwell, I love him. Samwell Tarly.
Oh, okay.
I love him. Ygritte right there next to him is pretty great. I love Bronn is good too.
Wait, hang on. We didn't do the Ed Sheeran guy.
Stop it.
Can we swap
That
out
was
Littlefinger for Ed Sheeran?
That was a mistake.
I would still pick the same.
That was so
like,
weird.
Ed Sheeran would fill in for Littlefinger.
Why
he
was he
there?
in there? Can you
There-
tell us
I-
about that? Why was he here?
I have never been more confused by an episode and angry by the fact that they just threw him in there and he sang a little song and then went away.
He sang?
He sang a song.
Oh.
They don't sing in Game of Thrones. What are you
It's
doing,
called
man?
Song of Fire and Ice.
It was weird.
They sing in Lord of the Rings
It was
and
weird
The Hobbit,
and I was upset.
and I wasn't upset about it.
No, but that's a thing.
I was
Like,
upset about this.
Like there's
But there's songs in
and they
that,
all do
like,
it
right?
together.
Yeah.
There's some
No,
music.
because there was this. Well, yes, they've all sung together. But there's this. I don't know if you remember this. It's actually like one of the prettiest songs I've ever heard. He sings for the king. One of the hobbits sings for the king, and it's like one of the prettiest. He's got like one of the prettiest voices.
But there is music throughout the story, throughout the movies. Like what? Isn't that the first time someone sang?
Yes, it is the first. It made
it's
no
Ed Sheeran.
sense. It was
Like,
so
that's
random.
super-
He wasn't even a character. He was just some random boy by
Like
the
a
fire.
soldier, right?
He
Or
sang a
something?
little.
He
sang
pulls
a
out
little
his
ditty.
he
And
pulls his
then,
acoustic like 2018 guitar and he's like,
Let me
this
get
is
my
called,
Fender out here real
he
quick.
pulls a tambourine out and is doing both at the same time.
This is called A-Team.
Yeah.
You might know this one from the Billboards. He's like, wait, what's happening? Why are you doing this?
That is how
no.
I felt. I was like, what is happening right now? And then it ended, and they just moved on like it was nothing.
He's like,
Just,
so that was
bad.
weird. That guy really just kind of held the tune there.
Okay.
But how did he take care of the
Yeah.
White,
And he
White
died.
King?
Yeah.
He
bad.
died because he picked music over battle. Like,
was
terrible
bad.
skill.
Or are there some other like moments that you?
So there's some other
really
characters.
love or
I
characters or
love the
what?
Hound too.
Okay.
So the Hound I shouldn't love, but I do. He protected Arya for a long time, and he didn't have to.
Okay.
I love any moment between like Bronn and Tyrion. They were always good together. There's a lot of like duos that are great together. Tormund Wolfsbane, or Giantsbane, I mean, him and Brienne. Whenever he hits on Brienne, it's hilarious and wonderful because she's not used to men paying any attention to her, and he just like adores her because she's giant. She's, if you don't know who she is, she's a knight, but she's a woman and she's really tall, and she's a knight, and she like is wonderful at being a knight, but people don't accept her because she's female and she's a knight. Tormund is a wildling, and he sees her and just like loves her. Like he just thinks she's the best thing he's ever seen, and she does not know what to do with it. It's hilarious.
Okay.
Every time they're in a scene
I
together.
thought she was a man in some of the recaps.
Yes, no, she's Brienne.
Okay.
Yeah, no, she's a lady. There's just, I don't know. Like I was trying to think of like what are some of your favorite moments from, and I don't even know. Like I just love the series so much, and they do such. Again, it's like the only series where I love the series more than I love the books. Like they do such wonderful things, and the acting is good, and the costumes are beautiful, and the scenery is beautiful, and they do a really good job converting the books to the script and tying in a bunch of characters together, and it's just, I love it very, very much. They do good.
Which is why you're here on.
Which is why I'm here, and I
Right.
can't shut up. Sorry.
No.
Speaking of 4 Geeks by Geeks, this couldn't be done without the community support of Secret Door Games, which there is a Game of Thrones game.
Is there?
Yeah.
Isn't there? Like a,
Oh yeah,
Yeah.
no, I've played it once.
Well,
Yeah.
then there's the Game of Thrones Catan. I know that.
So it's
There's
like
actually-
Settlers of Catan, but Game of Thrones.
But I think there's actually like a Game of
think
Thrones
so.
game. I mean, it's probably like Harry Potter where there's tons of games.
Yeah.
Which you could probably pick up at Secret Door Games.
Where's it located?
Where is it located? It is located on Main Street in downtown Elkhart.
215 Main Street to be exact.
Ooh.
They want to be your premier choice for tabletop gaming, Magic the Gathering, and other RPGs, as well as some comics and dice and all of your gaming
Yeah.
needs.
And if you want to keep up to like what kind of events they've got going on, check out their Facebook page. They're really amazing about keeping up to date with it. And we hope that you go out and check them out because they really are amazing people. Like I said, I mean, they'll sit there and they'll teach you whatever you want to learn so you can be a part of it.
I had a friend that just went there to play Keyforge. They had a Keyforge event just this afternoon, and he's like, you can tell that place is like a community because there's people that they're not really shopping, they're not really there to buy anything. It's just they like hanging out and talking about games and comics, and they feel welcome. And they do such a good job of making you feel welcome, even if you don't know a thing about Magic the Gathering, other games, or Game of Thrones.
And if they have that game, it's very fun. I played it one time.
Yeah, they've usually got nearly every game that you need.
There you
Yeah.
go.
If I played one at like my brother-in-law's, I can go to Secret Door Games and
And if they don't, they
have
will
it.
order it for you, which is so cool.
Yeah.
Like, there was a certain game that I wanted. They didn't have it. They ordered it in. Got it. It was amazing. So super great.
Next time you can, head down to Secret Door Games and pick yourself up something from the store, as well as an FGBG official sticker with purchase.
Also, you should, for a game suggestion, if you're looking for something simple to get into, Zombie Dice is really cool.
Yeah?
It's very simple, but super enjoyable. Or Sushi Go. That's my personal
Of course.
favorite. I love
Sushi Go Party is quite the expansion.
Yeah, because then it has the board.
Oh yeah, that's
and
cool.
Are you serious?
Yeah.
Oh.
Yeah, we played
Go?
We
Sushi
love
Go.
Sushi Go.
Oh my god,
But
We
Sushi
bought
Go.
it.
Sushi
We're
Go
obsessed with
Party
it.
is
Yeah.
is
Ooh, we need to go.
the
I know it
next
has
level.
nothing to do with Game of Thrones, but this is like, I don't know what grinds my gears.
What grinds your gears?
My fiance and I play Sushi Go all the time, and every time I bring it out, she's like, I don't remember how to play. the points are on the bottom of the card. I always have to re-explain the game. She's like, I don't understand the entire game. She's like, oh, I don't get it. And then she wins. I've never
That's how it
beaten
always
her.
goes.
We've played hundreds of hands. She has always won. And she has no idea what she's doing.
You know what she's doing is she's totally gaslighting you. Yeah. And she's got like palming hands.
She's like, what is
She's got all
this
those
game?
puddings in her hand, right?
Yeah.
She's like, oh, I've got all of them?
What
I
did these
wonder-
do again? Win the game? That's right.
That's cool. I'm just the Pudding King and the Maki Knight. And I'm like... ridiculous.
And this has been a segment called What Grinds Your Gears? Anyway, speaking of grinds your gears, the fact that it's been a year since season 8 has come out.
Season 7?
Season 7. No. Yeah.
Oh, since season 7 has
says
come out
season 8's
into
coming
season
out.
8.
Yes.
Yeah.
So
There you go. Good job.
we don't quite know how it's going to end. We're off book, literally. So do you have any theories on what's going to happen next in the story?
I'm glad you asked. I have many theories as to how this is
I'd
going to
love
go.
to hear that.
Based on lots and lots of research.
With
the
the
last
endless knowledge
45
that I have
minutes.
on this game and show.
Of Thrones.
So I think
of
what will
Thrones.
happen is this world's tectonic plates are going to shift.
Yeah.
And then the two islands are going to collide here. And there's a green Spartan statue here. That's going to collapse.
Okay.
And now the White Walkers, they're going to come in and invade. And I think that he's going to sit on the Game of Thrones. And then Tyrone is going to marry a dragon. It's going to be beautiful. And he's gonna marry a dragon and ride the dragon to victory.
This is beautiful.
He's gonna be the victor. I'm sure Jon Snow's gonna have something to do with it, but
I think that's one of the endings that they filmed. In
I'm almost guaranteed that Tyrion Lannister marrying a dragon and saving the day.
It's in there somewhere.
You know who he's not marrying?
Jon Snow.
Me.
Just saying.
Keep him. I don't want to.
That was beautiful. I don't know if I can follow that up.
If you agree with mine, subscribe.
So that was an accurate guess. Just like, what's your just shot in the dark guess?
Yeah,
based
because
on
nothing's
absolutely
gonna be any-
nothing. Not years and years of watching every episode several times and reading the books.
So, I don't know what's going to happen overall. I have theories about the Night King.
Okay.
Well, I've read a lot of theories about the Night King. The one I think that seems the most plausible is it has something to do with Bran. So I've read fan theories. I've read fan theories that Bran is going to become the Night King or is the Night King because he can like move back and forth in time and he can see everything. So the idea is that some chain of events happened where the Night King was created and Bran's going to try to fix it by either like becoming the Night King or he is the Night King and he's trying to come back and fix it by like helping Jon and Daenerys get like everybody in order to fight or something.
Okay.
So I think that one's pretty interesting
Wait, okay,
and
hang on.
seems plausible.
So, in this theory, I'm just curious.
Yeah.
He's always been the Night King, or he's going to take on the role of Night King?
He has, well, I think I've read both, but the one that makes sense to me is that he is the Night King and he's just
How did
like
he time travel?
well,
because
he
he
can.
He's
'cause
got
Bran.
he's a three-eyed raven, so he can move through time.
Oh, we can move through and not just see it.
And I don't know if this is like where the series. I think it's interesting, like any
Okay.
sort of like thing where time is like cyclical, and
Yeah.
so it's interesting to me if he. I don't know if it would
Because
work. I don't know if it would work with all of the
Killing
like.
Bran before he becomes the Night King, that he could never become the Night King, right?
Maybe, but then there's always like the weird things where you travel in time. There's all sorts of like plot holes and
Right.
stuff. So
Well, yeah,
that might
because
be
there's still the echoes through time, so he
yeah,
still technically
exactly.
exists.
Which that would be like too messy, but I don't know. That one I just think is interesting. I've heard there's some other stuff that I think might be interesting for the season. So Cersei, when we left off, is pregnant, and she's always worried about Tyrion because there was a she went and saw like a seer when she was younger that said her little brother was going to kill her, and so she's always hated Tyrion. Also because the mom died in childbirth when she was giving birth to Tyrion.
And Jaime's older.
But Jaime's
Oh,
younger.
they're
They're twins, and
But
so
only by a few minutes?
I read a theory that Jaime's gonna kill her this season, which I would
That
love
makes sense
to
to
have
me.
happen because I actually really like Jaime, and I think he's grown a lot over the series.
Jamie Lee Curtis?
Yes,
Yeah.
exactly.
Nice. Okay, I'm
They're gonna
following
eat
now.
yogurt.
He's gonna eat some
And-
Activia and some Bran, and the two of those
Colon
things
Health
are just gonna be.
and the Game of
are
Thrones.
Activia and Bran related? Because they
Yes.
shouldn't They shouldn't eat because
They have children together too.
You know, in a game of brand and Activia, you
Everybody
either win or you die.
wins. Everybody wins.
No, that's just a really strong colon.
Let's see what else. I'm not sure. So Jon and Daenerys just got together at the end of this season, but we just also found out that they are maybe their aunt and nephew, but they don't know that. And so Daenerys thinks she can't have kids, so there's some theories that she's going to get pregnant by Jon and their child is going to like save the world somehow, but I don't like that one. I don't want
Well, it's
that.
gonna take way too much time. Unless
I
a baby
know.
like wields a sword and he's like...
Like, the
Just
White
comes
Walkers
out.
is coming now.
Yeah, I don't like that theory.
Comes out with like long hair and a beard and he's like, we ride to
It's
victory.
Jace Momoa.
Yeah, I don't love Daenerys and Jon Snow together, so I don't really know what's gonna happen
Well, it'd be
with that.
super weird because then
I
they're
keep
gonna
trying not
end
to
up
think about
being
that. Like Cersei
Who's this and
and
what's this?
Cersei
But that
and
to me
Jaime.
just makes it makes the most sense to me that Jon Snow and Daenerys are Daenerys. How do you say her name? Daenerys.
Yeah.
Are because it's called the Song of Fire and Ice. She is fire.
Right.
He is ice. It's so all this was just a song of their
Yeah.
story, and they're gonna come together.
Ooh.
And
Yeah, I read another interesting theory today, which again, like I don't know any of these. So there's like a whole backstory about the prince who was promised, and like people have been thinking the whole series that it's either like Jon or Daenerys.
Mm-hmm.
And if it's Jon, which it could be Jon, in the like myth around it, he had to sacrifice his wife to like save the world. So if he and Dany stayed together, then Jon would end up killing Dany, which would
Okay.
be interesting. I would like that because I don't like that character very much. But I don't know, though.
Okay.
I don't know if any of those are like... I don't know if I think any of those are really... The only one I'm really on board with is the Bran one. So
Where
I'm
he
not
is the
sure.
Night King.
Where he's the Night King.
I think
I
that one's
like
really
that.
cool.
That's the one I like.
I like
It's
anything
really
involved with
complicated.
time travel.
Yeah.
But I mean, complicated is Game of Thrones.
Yeah, and there's so many, like, prophecies and, like, backstories that, like, I'm sure... like. George R. R. Martin's pretty good about like tying it all together.
Mm-hmm.
So I would be curious to see.
And as a fan of The Matrix, time can get very confusing when you do all these like
Right.
weird...
Yeah.
Oh, no, prophecies what I meant. Prophecies can get really weird.
Yeah,
Right.
they can too.
I saw a video, and it was talking about how wondering how season 8 is going to end or whatever, or what it's working up towards, and it said that George R. R. Martin probably put in the very first like book, even in the
answer.
first like
Yeah.
chapters of the book,
I would believe it.
hints.
Yes.
And so he was like pulling things about like Jon Snow being a bastard and how for once he was glad he was a bastard, and something about some prophecy or how in the crypts of the Starks,
Yeah.
they put the swords on top so they to protect them, also make sure they don't get out, but all of them are covered in rust and they're dilapidated. So it's about like the dead coming back, maybe like one of the Starks resurrecting and coming back and saving the day. Maybe it's Stark's dead wife. I don't know.
Hang on a minute.
I don't know
But
anything
it's
about this.
also
but
weird though because they showed the guy becoming the Night King, so I guess it couldn't really be Bran. But then maybe that's Bran when he was older. I don't know. It just gets weird. It's weird, and I don't really. So I also don't really understand the Night King fully. I want to know if the Night King is like. What's the word? Sentient? Like, does he have feelings and emotions? Does
Or
he
is he a
have goals?
zombie?
Or is he like some kind of like he's not a zombie because he controls everybody, but is he just like a monster? Like, is he just Frankenstein running
I mean,
around?
he looks like a monster. He's
I know, but
covered
I
in
want to
ice
know. I want to know if
fractals.
he has like moral, like a morality.
Do you have a
know
moral
what I mean?
compass or are you just chaotic evil?
Yeah, that's what I want to know.
Well, I mean,
That's something I've been thinking
concurrence
about
with
a
the
lot
rest of the
lately.
books. It
Yeah.
doesn't feel like he's just some random evil existence.
Well,
Like he would
and
have
the children.
justification.
The children of the forest made him to destroy humans because they were killing all the children and their magic and their trees, and so like. He was made to destroy humanity. So if that's his moral compass, then he's not doing anything wrong in his brain. But I don't know if he has that. Like, I don't know if he's that or if he's just their monster to kill people.
Okay, so I'm going to go ahead and...
Tell us your
With
thoughts.
all of that, I've got 2 new theories because of that. And this is actually thanks to Sonic the Hedgehog, believe it or not.
Okay.
So, you said that he was created by kids for...
They're
for
not.
what?
They're not kids. They're called children of the forest. They're really old.
Okay,
but
so
they're
the
like-
children of the forest created the Ice King. In Sonic Adventure, Chaos is a god created, but based off people's like energies, he becomes evil. But there's actually like a good spirit to it. I wonder if maybe the king here might actually have a good side. Like
I wonder that.
because with what you
Yeah.
said, it made me think. I'm wondering if that's how it ends. If this dude ends up
Yeah, they somehow like release it or something.
release it
Yeah.
and he ends up becoming like a really powerful person, but good.
Yeah, I wonder that too. I want to know. I want to know if he has some sort of...
Maybe him and Danny get married. Because that's fire
I
and
mean,
ice.
that would be super fire and ice.
Fire and
Not
ice.
just Jon Snow, but literally fire and literally ice.
Well, and
Okay.
Jon Snow is fire and ice too because he's a Stark and a Targaryen.
So maybe it's just his story and only his story.
I don't know.
I feel like it's always been just his story.
Well, and Daenerys has
Yeah.
a little bit of a crazy streak that I feel like they kind of downplay in the series. In the books, she's a little nuts. Like she's very murdery and likes to burn people and gets a little over the top.
She also has 3 dragon children, so I mean,
2.
well now.
No.
Oh, and also you never lose your children. Just because he's dead doesn't mean he's not her child still.
Well, it's
No,
probably
he's
going to
just
try
an
to kill
evil
her.
ice baby.
And then at that point, she's got 4 kids. Because she also had a kid that was pregnant with.
There you go. Yeah, I wonder what happened to that one.
Or it died. She said that. She told us.
Sorry.
You have to explain the demon baby, or the dark shadow baby.
Melisandre gave birth to the demon baby. Melisandre, we haven't talked about her. She's pretty nutty. She's a very mixed bag too, because she's done some very bad things, like encourage Stannis to burn his own child at the stake, which he did.
But also
she,
resurrect Snow, right?
She gave birth to the demon baby that killed Renly, but she also resurrected Jon Snow.
So, really
So
ways
it's
out.
like-
Demon
So-
baby. Killing
Burning
whatever.
a 10-year-old at the stake, who all she ever did was try to teach people how to read.
Bringing back Jon Snow. Even
And
out.
she's trying to help out, save humanity and such. I don't know.
Yeah.
I don't know about her.
But I think we can all agree that the real ending is that the mom dies and he marries Robin. That's all we need. That's the real ending. And we just have to live with that.
It took me 9 years. Like, Caitlin and I watched that over a period of 9 years, and it took them 9 years. We were, like, behind when it finally finished, but we were like, that's what they decided on? And now it makes me even more mad the fact that they did have a ton of other options, and that's what they decided
the
on.
problem was, we can geek out about this some other day, but basically they thought the series was going to end early on, so Victoria really was supposed to be the mother at one point.
Okay.
The baker.
Yeah.
But when the show didn't get canceled, they decided we can keep this going. We'll bring it back to her, and that's why she comes back. And it seems like a really good option. And then they get brought up again, and they're like, maybe we don't need her. And I don't think Victoria was well received for some reason.
I liked her.
I do. I thought she was the best option for the mom. I was rooting for her for day one. Sorry.
She's the too easy choice. That's too easy for American TV.
Thank you for sticking into this episode about How I Met Your Mother. We've been great.
And the other, what's that, like, playing with
Lord of the Rings.
with seats.
Well,
Well, Kylie, have you had fun today on that 4 Geeks by
I
Geeks?
have had so much fun. Thanks for having me.
Yes.
Will you ever come back?
Yes.
Oh, my
Good. We can't wait
Lord.
to geek out about something else. Or maybe once
Game
we
of
get
Thrones
through
season 8.
season 8, we can come back and actually talk about what actually happened, and maybe we'll have a clue by then.
What?
Probably not. But if you enjoyed today's episode, make sure you leave a like on this video and subscribe to our YouTube channel so you never miss an episode. And so that you get alerted, smash that bell icon so that every Sunday at 7 a.m. we can be your wake-up call. Because who doesn't want to get up at 7 on Sundays?
And see us, these beautiful faces. And don't forget to also follow our social media where we do a bunch of polls and questions and just fun memes and things like that. And that'll be at Instagram, Facebook, and Twitter at 4 Geeks by Geeks.
Absolutely. If you are part of our Fantasy Overwatch League, look at my face. That's how I feel. That's how I feel.
I think at this point, unfortunately, we're just going to call it. We thought they basically just messaged us back and told us to make a new one. And if that's going to be the answer, if we get down to the end of it and then it crashes again, then basically they just told us to go make a new one. We've wasted all of our time.
There was so much. I messaged them so many times with absolutely no response. So I'm a little bitter against Winston's Labs right now. But until Blizzard makes an official Overwatch Fantasy League,
Which hopefully they do.
knock on wood, we're stuck with Winston's Labs. So if you stuck with us, it'll be 4 Geeks by Geeks Beta. Because the first one was... No, Bravo. It'll be Bravo, not Beta. Bravo. But any last words, Mr. Dragon? No? Any last words, Kylie?
Nope.
Well...
Can't wait for season 8.
Thanks for joining us on 4 Geeks by Geeks. Until next time, I'm Bozer.
I'm PK.
See ya!